right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. I am your host, Kirk DeMars, and we've got a great program for you tonight. I've got a little bit of something different that I want to have you get some more information about and get some knowledge on. We've got a great program happening right here in mid-Missouri, and tonight my guest is DeWayne Cartee of the Jefferson City Renegades. DeWayne's going to talk to us about what's going on with the Renegades, what's coming up. He just got done with some meetings, and so lots of information that we want to get to. And you guys are going to find out how you can get connected with the Renegades and possibly go see some games and support these great athletes that are right here in mid Missouri. So, with that, I'm not going to hold on anymore. We're going to go ahead and bring DeWayne on right now. Hey, DeWayne, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight.
No problem.
Hey, you just got done with some meetings, and so you talked about it was a pretty long day, huh?
Yeah, we met with the other teams in the Mink League this weekend, and we went over the new rules that will be affecting the teams, and then also we developed the schedule for the season.
Okay. We will get into a lot of that here real quick, but before we get started, I would like you to go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and what you do on top of doing the Jefferson City Renegades.
Okay. During the day, I'm a software developer trainer for a company called Centurion Cares. We do call center software and I do the training for the agents, and then the Renegades is just volunteer in the evenings and weekends.
All right. Now you said volunteer, and you know what? I know what volunteer means. Volunteer means a lot of work.
That is correct. We do spend a lot of different hours working on this
Yeah.
all season, all year long, getting ready for the season.
Well, and I know people really appreciate everything you do, and I know probably especially the athletes appreciate everything that you guys do in putting that together.
Yeah.
Um,
We've got a
tell,
nice board of directors that's all volunteer that helps out, and we get it all planned.
yeah, good. You got to surround yourself with a lot of good people, that's for sure. Dwayne, tell everybody a little bit about the history of the Jefferson City Renegades and why you and others saw that there was a need for this team right here in mid Missouri.
Well, I think that most of the original founders liked baseball, and they thought it was something that we needed to be able to do here so that you didn't have to drive a couple hours and spend hundreds of dollars to go see a baseball game. So they researched some leagues and then figured out that the Mink League was the best league for us to be in, that we would be able to support and have the facilities to work with. And we've got a nice facility at Vivian Field that the city helps maintain, and it's really one of the upper fields in the Mink League.
Okay, so we're talking about the Mink League. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about that and the different teams that compete in that, and kind of what are the dynamics of scheduling and traveling?
Okay. Part of what we try to do is let the players have a experience like they would if they made it up into the minor leagues. So they do lots of traveling and overnight stays and lots of bus trips. The Mink League has 9 teams in it, and we go from Joplin, Missouri, Nevada, Sedalia, Chillicothe, and St. Joe in Missouri. And then we also have 3 teams up in Iowa, and that's Carroll, Iowa, Clarinda, Iowa, and Des Moines, Iowa. So, like, to go up to Carroll, it's a 5 hour drive. They drive for 5 hours and then go up there and play a doubleheader. Then we'll probably spend the night and drive to Des Moines the next night.
Like you said, a lot of traveling.
Yeah. Last year they traveled over 8,000 miles.
Wow. So what does it look like as far as the season? How long does that usually last? When does it start, and kind of when does it end?
The season starts May 31st this year, and then the playoffs are the last week of July. So
Okay.
that will be the week of the 23rd through the 30th of July will be the championship. And we do 44 games or so in that time frame.
Okay.
So they're playing most nights.
Yeah, and along with that, you've got some a pretty talented coaching staff. Can you tell us a little bit about them and the time that they put in?
Yeah, our head coach, and he's been our head coach ever since we were founded, is Mike D'Amelia. He used to teach coach at Lincoln, and then now he's the head coach at Blair Oaks, and he's like won state championships there and Final Fours. So he's got lots of experience and very successful. As a coach of the Renegades, we've made the playoffs every year,
Hmm.
so we've done fairly well on that side too.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the playoff format. How do they come about? Who gets in that?
The top three teams make the playoffs in the each division. We have a North and a South division, and so the top three in the each division into the playoffs, and it's a wild card for the first round, and then the division playoff to see those are just one and done games, and then the championship series is a three-game series where you win the best of three.
Okay. Which division are you guys located in? Are you in North or South?
We're in the South,
Okay.
and that would be we have Sedalia, Nevada, and Joplin in our division.
Okay. I want to ask this question. What are people going to find when they come out to Renegades? What are some of the different activities you guys have going on at the home games?
Um, we like to have lots of fun at the ballpark. Um, One of the things that we started doing last year was a military salute, where we recognize the veterans and let them speak and tell where they served, and thank for them for that. We have in between innings, we do condiment races and other miscellaneous races and games that the kids play. Um, we've also done like a craft beer night where we had vendors there showing off their beers and letting people sample those during the game.
You know, I find it always interesting about the condiment racing. So, who typically wins those races out there? Everybody, I think, wants to know that.
It's kind of always we try to make it where it's going to be an even at the end of the year where each one ketchup, mustard, and relish they've all won a few times.
All right, all right. I guess to keep them coming back, you got to let them win occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, speaking about getting people to come back, I know you guys. As far as the players, can you tell everybody a little bit about how you get the players to participate on the Renegades? What's that process, and where do they come from?
Okay. Like Mike is already working on getting players right now, and we try to get some local talent, and we also try to get talent from all over the country. We work with different coaches around Missouri, and they'll send us. Some of them will say, "Yeah, I'll send you two or three players that
Mhm.
need to get better over the summer and need some more at bats and things like that, or some pitchers that need to pitch innings." We've had kids from the state of California, from Aruba, from Wisconsin, and Texas, all in the last couple of years. So we get a variety of people.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit about what happens with them when those guys come in from those different places and host families. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Um, what's a typical season like for these players? Is everybody pretty much here throughout, or do you have some kind of coming in and out? How's that work?
We like to have the players here all season. There are a couple times where the colleges have called them in a couple of weeks before the end of the season and said it's time for you to get up here and start working with us. But
Hmm.
for the most part, they're here all season. They arrive like they'll probably arrive on Memorial Day or the next day, have one practice, and then our first game.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how that gels out.
Yeah, and it's not very I know for you guys it's probably not the ideal circumstance. The college is calling them back a little bit early, especially going into the playoffs, right?
Right.
I can see it on your face when you said it. I know, all right, something there that would be a little bit of an issue. All
Yeah.
right.
And we
Hey,
have, sometimes the coach will tell players that, we want this pitcher to pitch 40 innings. And then once he's done with that, he's done.
okay.
So we watch that and we work with the coaches good so that they'll send players back in the future too.
Yeah,
We don't want to burn those bridges.
right, absolutely. That's a great way to keep your talent stocked and generate that excitement. Plus, also familiarity with the fans, getting to root on somebody that's been there before.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had some players come back for a couple of their second year and stuff. Most of the time it's new fans.
Dwayne, we're going to go ahead and do our commercial break here real quick, and then we'll be back with the second segment. You've given us lots of good information, but there's a lot more that we want to get into. We'll hit our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Not everybody is an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday type. At CNS, we have employment options for the way you want to work with our flexible scheduling program. Flexible scheduling is designed to fit your lifestyle and allows you to be in control of your schedule. CNS offers insurance plans upon employment. Celebrating 45 years of staffing, CNS Business Services.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, the Missouri Army National Guard and CNS Business Services, we appreciate them and everything that they do for this program. We are very grateful for their support. And I know, as you know, Dwayne, that's important to have those people to help support and make sure that everything runs the way that it needs to on a daily basis. And it looks like you're frozen a little bit there, but you're back. All right. I want to ask you, Dwayne, real quick. Something that's very important is support for you at home. Tell us about that.
We've got lots of support within our family, and my wife helps run merchandise, and my daughter is also on the board selling. She's the office manager and secretary, so we do have a lot within the family helping.
Yeah, you do not want to not recognize them, because I know that there's a lot of work that they put in there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about fundraisers and that you put on for the Renegades, and how can people help you guys support and keep you moving forward?
Okay. Over the past couple of weeks, we had a golf tournament 2 weeks ago, and then we sold Krispy Kremes last Friday. The next fundraiser that we'll have is February 25th. We'll be doing a trivia night at McClung Park. It'll be our 5th annual of that, I believe. And we do a silent auction and have a lot of fun at the trivia night. One of the new things that we're starting to get more people the opportunity to help us is we're starting a Renegade Brigade. And that's going to be like a booster club for that they had back in high schools for everybody is. And we're actually going to have a meet and greet on that tomorrow night, Tuesday night at Shepherd's at 7 o'clock. Or if you can't make that, you can call our house here and leave a message and tell us that you want to be interested, and we'll work with you there.
Okay.
Our phone number is 573-635-1364.
Very good. I was going to ask you that. And also, I wanted to ask you, where can people go as far as the website and social media?
Yeah, we're got the Jefferson City, JeffCityRenegades.com. We've got Facebook, which is Jeff City Ren. We're on Twitter and Instagram, which is at JC Renegades on both of those. We also have an email of jcrenegades@gmail.com that you can email for any questions.
Very good. I know that you probably, again, some of that support that you have, if there's any comments that they would love to make, they can put that in the comment section and help you and I out as far as getting any of that information out there that we can. Also, if I don't ask a specific question that they want me to ask you, I would love to have them bring that on here, and we'll make sure to do that. Or even if they have some funny memory that they want to share with you, maybe about, okay, here, my mom's coming on. Wow, here we go. My mom is on here from Kansas, and she says, "It's nice to see you, son. It's been an interesting program." So good. My mom's a huge baseball fan. They traveled with me everywhere, and so good to have you on here, Mom. It's good to have support of a mom even at 56 years old, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. DeWayne, what are some of the highlights that you've had with this organization and the players that have gone through here?
One of the highlights last year is we got a mascot. So we got to introduce Rowdy the Renegade as our mascot last year. That was our first year that we've been able to get a mascot and get that going. As far as I've already said that we've made the playoffs every year, and I think that's pretty impressive to be able to do that. We've had some players that got drafted. Last year, Jackson Love got drafted, and so during the season, we watch and see how it's going to go. Jacob Voss was also drafted a few years ago. We've had a few players that have came back a couple of years, or there's certain players that stick out as characters that everybody loved seeing. And they can be a lot of fun, and they get the crowd excited. We had Miles Ivory, and then he would go around. He did mess up his hamstring for a couple of days, and so he went around and was doing the 50-50, and he was getting crazy, getting everybody to donate to the 50-50. He was all excited about it, and that was exciting for the fans.
Yeah, you brought up the mascot, and I do have to ask, just because we need to know, does he race against the condiments out at the games?
We did have a mascot race during the first game last year. We had his birthday party,
All right,
and we had mascot races. So that was the time that he did that. But most of the time, we don't let him do that because of the chance of falling.
The chance of falling. I was thinking that would probably be very likely.
Yes.
Yeah. DeWayne, tell us real quick, where did you get your love for baseball? Where did that all come from?
I was a Royals fan since I was like 7 or 8 years old, following George Brett and going to Royals games all the time. Started taking my daughter when she was a toddler up there, and then so we just always made it a big family event going to the games.
My cousin Jane, she was a huge Royals, but most particularly George Brett fan. So I know I know what you're talking about. I can remember watching how pumped up she would get for Royals games. Got to go to a couple games when we lived out in Kansas, and so that was a lot of fun. As you're well aware, we had some really good years and then a lot of really lean years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that was so hard, especially when you're trading off people that were Cy Young Award winners. I don't get
Mm-hmm.
it. Hey, I got a
Small
call.
meat.
Yeah, we got a comment from a friend of mine on here. Devin says, "Never been to a game, but many friends have and would love to come watch sometime. What kind of activities at the game do you have for young kids out of curiosity? Thanks for all the information, DeWayne."
We have during the game we do 3 to 4 games in between innings that the kids can do, and then we also have um, if they go get foul balls, we let them. They bring the foul ball back to us and they spin a wheel, and then they can get a prize, and the prize is like a game ticket or baseball cards,
Okay.
like a pack of 300 baseball cards. So that's the one the kids want, and they'll go running all over the place. And they,
Well, good. I know this gentleman, his son, Brooks, and I'm going to mention him by name because he's an awesome young man. He was out helping me with moving some wood this last Saturday during that hot day, and he was up on the trailer handing me pieces of wood. So I know that he would love to come and see a baseball game. So that would be great. Um, DeWayne, it's been again great information, just like Devin said. But I want you to explain a little bit more about your schedule. And you had mentioned where you play your home games, but how can people get more information? How can they get tickets? How can they get out there?
yeah, we play at Vivian Field, which is by the ice arena right off Missouri Boulevard. It's a very nice field, and the you can buy tickets at the gate, or we have where you can buy them on our website. Tickets are only $7 for adults, $5 for seniors and students. We also have season tickets available. For the whole season, for an individual, it's only $100. For people, it's $150, and for a family 4-pack, it's $200, and that gets you into over 22 games plus the playoffs.
For people that love baseball, that is a great deal, and they would get to see some very talented players as well as coaching, and just a great organization. And on top of that, we'll just go back to they get to see some condiments running around, racing each other on the field, and just all sorts of chaos when that happens. So I keep bringing that up. I love watching those. It just cracks
Yes.
me up. I
Mhm.
alluded to this a little bit earlier, DeWayne, but I want you to tell us a little bit about the host families, and if somebody wants to participate there, how do they do that?
Yeah, host families, like we talked about, the players come in from all over the country, and they need a place to stay for the 2 months of the season. So we just need people that will house them for those couple of months and then feed them a little bit here and there. We try to feed them after the game sometimes, but they probably, they're college boys. They probably need a little more food than that in the mornings or afternoon by the time they get up from our games, because after we travel 5 hours after a game, we're get home at 2 or 3 in the morning, and then so they sleep till noon or so probably. um, but one of the things about being a host family, it's like they become part of your family forever after that. We've had some people that have been host families all along, and they still follow their boys that are playing in other leagues. So they'll come by and say, Quincy did this tonight. He got 2 for 3 and struck out. It's like, it's awesome to hear what those guys are still doing. And then we've also had some people that when they went on their family vacation, they scheduled it to make sure and go visit their player that they had the
That's cool.
season before, because they're so entwined into their life now that they want to go see what they're doing.
Yeah, you spend a couple of months with somebody, you get to know them pretty well, and like you said, you would get attached to them and the players as well. I can remember through high school and traveling and playing in some different all-star tournaments. We would travel to Colorado, different places like that, and I would stay with the host family for, just even a few days, sometimes a week, but you get attached to them just in that short amount of time. So I can really imagine the benefits and reward of a host family opening up their home to some ball players and just again just getting to have that experience. Um,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you've appreciated about the host families that you do have.
The main thing is we know that the players are going to be in a safe environment and have a local contact that can help them navigate the city. It's not that big, but some of the people, when they come in, they don't know where to go get their haircut, where they do anything like that. So it's nice that we have the host families that will be able to help them tell what's going on in the city and things like that.
All right. So one other question I'm going to have to ask you. Of course, we've got baseball going on right now on the professional level. World Series is set. What's your pick, or does it even matter?
Honestly, the teams that are in it really don't matter, but I just hope the Astros don't go any further.
There you go. That is the pick right there. You got it.
Hmm.
Very good. Well, it's interesting that I wasn't quite sure when St. Louis was playing against the Phillies. I thought should have won that, but man, they've been playing some great baseball.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so it makes me feel a little bit better that we lost to a team that's in the World Series, but that's not much better.
Yeah.
Hey, Dwayne, I want to ask you: is there any other additional information or some other comments that you want to add in? We've covered a lot of different things, but I want to make sure that if there's anything that we missed, that you have time to talk about that.
Yeah. Um, some of the other games and things that we do, we have a legends game, as we call it, where we have our players play against the legends that have either been alumni of the Renegades or they were stars from around the area that went on into college. And so every summer we have a legends game that we play against them. The last 3 years we've done celebrity softball, and we do that as a fundraiser for an organization around town. We've been fortunate to have people like Jeff Helsher and Zach Paul playing that the last few years. Um, One of the other things that we do in the summer is kids camp. We let the coaches and the players work and help train ages like 9 to 13.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that again this year, and we'll have the players help that. And we've had people come up and say that they learned a lot more from our little camp than they did from spending lots of money with an Ozzie Smith camp, because we do individualized and have smaller groups than they do. So they learned a lot from that.
It's kind of like a smaller classroom kind of thing where you're just able
Um,
to get more attention.
yeah, and we have lots of the players helping, so they get to break off into little groups and work with them.
Yeah, that's a pretty special moment for the kids
Um,
getting to work with them, isn't it?
yeah, they really enjoy it, and then when they come back, because we let them come back to a baseball game after that, and then they get to get autographs with the players and stuff, and they like it when the players recognize them and remember their name and say, "Hey, nice to see you again." And
Oh, good. Uh, DeWayne, before we go, I want you to go ahead and tell everybody a little bit more again as far as where can they go for information. If you want to give your phone number again, you can do that. Um, again, social media, just those different things, and if we'll do that, and then we'll close out the program. And I loved having you on here. You've done an outstanding job, and thank you for all you do right here in Mid-Missouri.
Thank you for letting me be on here and tell the story of the Renegades.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook with facebook.com/JeffCityRen. Instagram and Twitter are JC Renegades. Our email is jcrenegades@gmail.com. Our website is jeffcityrenegades.com. You can call the house at 573-635-1364. And anytime you want to talk, we'll be glad to talk to you about it.
All right. And what can people be looking forward to in this coming season?
We will probably be having auditions for the national anthem again, where we let people come and practice. Well, they get the experience of performing in front of the fans and singing the national anthem this year. We'll probably be bringing back bingo at the ballpark. We'll have Thankful Thursdays again, where we recognize individual groups of people. Last year we did like educators and medical professionals and first responders, and government employees. We let them come into the gate at a discounted rate on a Thursday. Also, we do have the games are broadcast on the Show Me Sports Network, so you can hear the audio of the games even when we're on the road.
All right. Well, good. That's a lot of great information. And I want everybody to do just like Devin Frank did. He added you guys on Facebook just now. So if you guys would go ahead and add the Renegades to your Facebook, and I know that they would love to have you on there and be able to share everything that's going on, as well as those continued successes on the playing field. DeWayne, outstanding stuff. Thank you so much for being on the program tonight. I'll have you hold on with me here a little bit afterwards, but I just need to close out the program, and we'll finish up. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had DeWayne Cartee of the Jefferson City Renegades, and he gave us lots of good information about this very talented team right here in Mid-Missouri. They play in the South Division of the Mink League, and they've been in the playoffs every year. They've got local talent as well as people that come from all over the country to play on this ball club, as well as they've got some great local coaching that you guys are familiar with at just right up the road in Wardsville. Coach D'Amelio, he's the head coach, and he's got a great staff with him. Thanks again for watching the program tonight. I hope you join us next week. But as always, this is your host, Kirk DeMars, on One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. Thanks again. God bless you, and have a great week.